Remember the Game Boy Advance, which was followed by the SP, which was then itself followed by the Micro? Well, PowKiddy took it into their hands to create a device that acts as a sequel to them, the PowKiddy V10. When it comes to performance, the V10 is very similar to other handhelds in its price class. Where it differs though is the screen. Instead of going for a simple 4x3 480p screen, they went with a 480 by 320 screen. Double the resolution of the Game Boy Advance. Let me quickly go over what's in the box. You get the manual, the V10 itself, and a USB-C cable. Personally, I would have wanted a screen protector included, like with other devices, but I guess it's not as cheap for them with an odd-shaped screen like that. Now, getting to the V10 itself. The biggest thing I noticed is the missing dedicated volume buttons. Also, when I first saw it online, I assumed it would be smaller, like 2/3 of its actual size smaller. But now that I hold it in my hands, I wouldn't want it to be a different size. The console actually sits quite well in my hands. One of the prime reasons for that are the curved shoulder buttons. I absolutely wish more handhelds would do that. It makes the grip so much more comfy. And it's not just the shoulder buttons, I like the feel of the entire console. The plastic they used for the V10 feels quite nice and almost a bit velvety. The ABXY buttons have a nice resistance and retain some flexibility when bottomed out. The D-pad is nicely molded and moving between directions feels smooth. And the remaining buttons have a nice click while providing a satisfying little travel. The V10 also has very little rattle. But I have to admit, the shoulder and plus and minus buttons are a bit loud. When it comes to the performance, I don't have much to say. The V10 uses the well-established RK3326 and thus works well on most consoles below the PS1. This brings me to the V10's biggest problem, the screen. They chose a screen that is twice the native size of the GBAs. Because of that, the GBA works fantastic, and other handhelds work also quite well. But when you go for home consoles, you have a problem. Because of the resolution that these home consoles have, you have a bad time when it comes to integer scaling, and they won't look good even with some filters. This could have been a bit more alleviated if they would have went with 3 times the GBA's resolution, which is 720 by 480, which allows to fit 480p content quite nicely. I quickly want to mention the speaker. It doesn't get as loud as some other devices, but even on 100% it does not distort. I really like that. If you give me a range, then make the full range usable. It's a simple thing that not many get right. In conclusion, if your main focus is the GBA, with some other handhelds sprinkled in, then go for it. The size, the feel, and so on are perfect for it, and for the price, it's quite nice. However, if you want to play home consoles, then I'd recommend to buy another device, such as the Mio Mini, the R35XX line, and so on. As with any video, you can find links to everything in the description, and I hope you liked my take on the PowKiddy V10.